What's good, y'all? You dog back here again in 2019. Let's get it. Now, I've talked before about rugby being how do I put this? The most intellectual or strategic, really, the most strategic physical game. Okay, there is. Excuse me, let me reverse that. The most physical strategic game there is. Rugby, man. If you think you can just go into rugby and just run with a ball and win, you think because you got a golden arm or you got a golden foot, you gonna win at rugby? Number one, there's three different versions of playing rugby. There are sevens, which usually have what are called the wings, the fast guys, maybe one forward. You know, these are usually the guys who can run and they can run fast. Then you got a tens game, which is it's kind of a mix between the two, and then there's a 15s full game of rugby. Okay, kind of the stuff if you're used to football, American football, where you got 11 on 11. It's a similar concept, different game obviously, but in that way, a similar concept. Rugby, you have to. There are no lateral forward passes. Okay, like you see in football, it's lateral. I mean, as far as forward passes, there are lateral passes, and there are, you can throw backwards. Rugby defense, you're supposed to hold the line, stonewall them to where they cannot advance because they can't pass ahead of you. So that's sort of strategy. Don't let them get on the outside and break that stone wall. Okay. You don't full blown through the tackle. You tackle, and they're supposed to let the either as soon as the tackle the ball the ball is supposed to be gotten rid of in a specific way. If they don't, it's now the other team's ball, or if it gets kicked forward, it's the other team's ball. Okay. As getting tackled, you're either supposed to toss it or in certain once the ball is dropped with the tackle, it's supposed to be let go a specific way behind, and you continue play. You're not really trying to be He-Man and be a running back and just keep going. Once you start getting that tackle, get rid of the ball, or as soon as you're about to get tackled, get rid of that ball if you can. For the most part, um, it depends. It depends on the specific situation. Now, there's a kicking element to it. You can chip over somebody and still hold it. As soon as you kick it, you can't touch the kicker. Kind of the same way as a kicker or a punter in football. You can't touch them. Um, there's also kicking for field goals. The try is worth 5 points. The after point kick is worth two. Uh, field goals, I believe they're worth three, like in regular football. I believe that as well. But when you try, you have to touch down on the ground. You can't just run into the end zone. Woo! You have to put the ball down. Now you want it to closer to the middle because it's easier to kick through for your after point. But if you got to get the try, you got to get the try, and you got to kick it from wherever the case may be. Now, explain that those rules for people not aware. Here's where the strategy comes in. Playing mind games of getting the defense, like I said, it's a lot of running. You got to run both ways. There are guys called fullbacks who are actual fullbacks, meaning they stay back, and they're the usual guys who got the good foot, who can also make sure they make tackles, who understand the game very well. The wing guys, who I would be on the outside, those are your fast gunner guys. All right, you got your front eight. If for those of you in anime and manga, all Out is that series that explains the rugby game very well. It's a phenomenal series, phenomenal animation, might I add. Um, Here's the thing. Rugby's the only sport that I know of that you could have a group of 60-year-old guys, as long as they're able to go, beat a group of 20-year-olds that don't know what they're doing. You can say, well, it's a physical game, right? Yeah, it's physical. I knew a gentleman and would practice with him, would play with him. He still played rugby in his 60s. He did martial arts and stuff too. But if you're able, for example, if that group is able to kick the ball very well, do a little kick pass over, can't touch them, kick pass over. If they're able to pass that thing with velocity and such, that group of 20-year-olds will just be running all over the field with the chickens with their heads cut off. I had another a friend of mine, right, talked about when he was in college and playing, pickup games, intramural club games, right? He would have guys, off the football team. They're big bad guys. Think they come and die after a day one of rugby because in football, especially if you're a lineman, pretty much you do your job and that's it. In most offenses, you do your job and that's it. You straightforward. You don't run that much. Only certain skill positions run that much. Rugby, you're always running, always running, always running, always thinking too. In football, most plays are pretty straightforward. Rugby, if you come out here and try to play rugby like you do football, you're going to get exposed. You're going to get clowned on. You're going to get aggravated. You're going to be dead in the water. You're going to be out in 10 minutes. You can't play rugby like any other sport. Any other sport. But you still got to be able to tackle. And actually, it's a hell of a lot safer with tackling with rugby than it is football or anything else. Yeah, you tackle, but you're not trying to just do a diving tackle. You're trying to tackle them for a stop. It's a lot more cerebral, and the movements are a lot different than anything else you really do. Rugby, man, rugby. If you've never watched it, I would suggest watching it. I would suggest playing it if you want an alternative to for a physical game that's not going to beat you up. I mean, injuries happen, but hell, injuries can happen in golf. Um, this was more of an introductory video, but it's a really, really thoughtful, cerebral game. Whoever came up with rugby was a genius. I'll put it that way. Unexpected one to like, comment, subscribe. Tell me your thoughts. Tell me if you ever play rugby. Tell me if you follow rugby. Um, Let me know. And let me know if you want me to continue to do different videos on sports discussions and stuff. I can do all kinds, and I plan to. All right, y'all. Have a beautiful day, beautiful night. Peace.